The seven-centered being versus the nine-centered being. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Lao Tzu. When Ra Uru Hu was given the knowledge of human design in 1987, the crucial piece of information was the mutation of our beings, our neocortex, that had taken place in 1781 due to William Herschel discovering Uranus. Our physical bodies moved into a Uranian life cycle of 84 years, and we gained 2 more energy hubs of information. We also moved from strategic, left-oriented beings to a mix of right receptive and left. We are called Homo sapiens intransitus. Why was this information the crucial piece? The seven-centered chakra system has its roots in the survival, fear, and strategic left-oriented way of life. The fear leads to strategic intelligence. The strategic mind wants to conquer, triumph, and control its future. Thinking and making decisions from this thought pattern. It will lie, cheat, and fool you. The fear of survival is always in the way. In 1781, we mutated to a nine-centered being. The nine-centered being is based in the receptive mind and the ability to view life in a peripheral way. This mutation created a binary consciousness. We no longer need to bow to the mind for decisions. We can trust the body to navigate on this plane with no interference needed from the mind. So what does this mean for you? The beauty of design is this: 2 simple tools, strategy and authority, and that's it. The mind can then get out of the way of the life because it no longer needs to be in the exhaustive role of decision maker. The form, the vessel, the body is then allowed to navigate on the material plane without interference, and you get to watch the life unfold. Sounds too good to be true? Is the mind spoofing at this absurd speech? If so, what else is it getting in the way of? Efficiency comes from the vehicle, your body, guiding us and not the mind. When we are following the form, we are liberated. The mind creates a prison of addiction and propaganda trying to control us. It is not in our nature to be killers, mean, or separate. We have the blueprint for the life. It was gifted to us through Ra. Making decisions shapes the life, from frustration to satisfaction, from anger to peace, from disappointment to awe, and from bitterness to success. And again, the 2 simple tools of strategy and authority guide us in the process. We are here to live what is correct for us, and not what is expected of us. There is a natural order to life. This movement in space is designed for us to enjoy and love. The rewards in life are in the moment, not later. Strategic manipulation tells you the reward will come later. Afraid people plot their destiny, and awake people allow the destiny to unfold with ease, as if taking an intimate ride in nature. The seven-centered being versus the nine-centered being. The seven-centered is strategic. The nine-centered is receptive. The seven-centered, fear-driven through the oldest center, the spleen. The nine-centered, riding the ebb and flow of life. The seven-centered, survival-based in outer vision. The nine-centered is inner vision. The seven-centered has strategic intelligence. The nine-centered has emotional intelligence. The seven-centered mind takes us further from the natural order. The nine-centered mind allows us to be in the flow of the natural order. The seven-centered gives the authority to others. The nine-centered gives the authority within self. The seven-centered is obsessed with strategies. The nine-centered surrenders. The seven-centered says, love thy neighbor. The nine-centered says, love thyself. The seven-centered lies, cheats, and will fool you. The seven center is a beautiful outer authority for others. The seven-centered mind will take advantage of what it focuses on. The nine-centered right mind is looking at the world and seeing it. The seven-centered is all about who is winning. The nine-centered, there's no competition. The seven-centered drags itself to the top. The nine-centered empowers, shares, and supports. The seven-centered conquers and rules. The nine-centered educates. The seven-centered bows down to the authority of others, parents, teachers, governments, doctors. The nine-centered trusts its own auric field and inner authority. The seven-centered delusion needs to control. The nine-centered choiceless knows there is no control. The seven-centered narrows down the possibilities. The nine-centered knows we are all unique. The seven-centered strategic manipulation tells you the reward is coming later. The nine-centered, the reward is in the moment, not later. Life is about being fully in it, fully seeing it. If anything here initiates you to look further into design, you have a response to look further into design, or feel invited to check out your nine-centered being, I would love to educate you and coach you to your uniqueness.